Welcome to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. I'm Kinsey Ashcraft, a boutique owner, firefighter wife, and mama of 2 cowgirls, homesteading on a cattle ranch in Oklahoma.
And I'm Talia Watcott, a Western artist and illustrator, mama of 2, and wife of a mountain man, raising babies in the mountains of Utah.
Together, we share a passion for the Western lifestyle, homemaking, and Indian paintbrush flowers.
We're here to inspire and encourage you as we each create a simple but beautiful life on the prairie.
Welcome back to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. Today we are diving all into Christmas and talking about vintage Western Christmas decor because that is what we like to decorate with. So really excited about this episode because I love decorating. I love making my house a home and making it cozy, especially at Christmas time. So we have lots of fun little ideas that might inspire you when decorating your own home.
Yes, I think Christmas decor is so personal. It's one of those things, it's like everyone has like their signature style when it comes to Christmas decor. But I am finding that mine has changed a lot, even just in the last 2 years. I really have changed my style. But I always love looking at Kenzie's house during Christmas time and all of the pictures that she posts because they are so pretty. And I swear you have managed to find the cutest vintage finds that just are like the icing on the cake. I just love it.
I like it. It's kind of like our antiquing episode. It's like a treasure hunt. So I've slowly just collected and curated little vignettes in our house. And our house is really small, so it's like I can't really put a ton into it and decorate a whole lot because then it just feels cluttered. But I try to be very intentional with what I do bring in and use. But I feel like mine has changed a little bit, my style, but not much. I think I'm turning into my mother because her house is my absolute favorite at Christmas just because everything that she uses now are pieces that we decorated or that we collected since I was a little girl together. My mom and we always went to the World Quarter Horse Show in Oklahoma City. That's where they host it. And she would always take me to the shows, and then we would go to the trade show and go to all of these little booths. And I remember one specifically, and they were just Western Christmas decor. And they had the really pretty craft cowboy paper that she would always wrap our gifts in. And they had the best ornaments, ornaments that you cannot find anywhere else because they would have the Team Roper ornaments and hand painted ornaments by Western artists and just the really cool horses or the vintage looking glass ornaments, but they were Western. And so we would just collect several at a time each year. And it's so much fun, bringing her totes down out of the attic every November and opening them up because it's just so nostalgic for me. And so I've started doing that with my own kids and with our own house, just slowly collecting really cool Western ornaments and building our tree. I love Christmas. It's so much fun for me, but I don't know. I think it's just getting to create your own Christmas collection, like you said. Everyone's has their own little thing and it's different. It's not like home decor that you see on Pinterest and the styles are so similar, like you would decorate your homes and you see it everywhere. I feel like when it comes to Christmas decor, everyone's is different and unique in their own. And I think that's what I love so much about seeing other people's spaces on social media when they share after it's been decorated. So
I feel like there's a lot of sentiment that goes into the Christmas decorating, especially when it comes to ornaments, because a lot of the ornaments on our tree, so we our tree's fairly curated. Everything on it is basically Western. We don't have too many outliers. There's a few here and there, but there's a lot of the ornaments that I had growing up as well. But it's memories for me that I had growing up of like remembering putting that ornament on the tree when I was 5 or whatever. But,
Hmm.
then it's also like through the years you pick up other ornaments and create different memories with those. And so um, I think ornaments are such a fun way to tell a story on your tree. And it makes me kind of sad when I see people that do like their fancy, like store bought Christmas tree with all like the store bought ornaments and everything is like in the same color palette and like matches perfectly. Cause I'm like, well, that's no fun. Like that tree doesn't have any personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like to have the little storytelling of the ornaments all over the tree.
Well, it makes you slow down and pause. And it makes you like reflect and enjoy the experience of decorating, but also remembering um, Christmases past, in your childhood and the memories that you're also currently making with your own kids. So I love that about it too. Our tree is very eclectic, I would say. It's very Western, like everything would be Western except um, probably the girls' ornaments. So we started this tradition where every year, each person in our family, so me, Zach, and the girls, get our own ornament that is special to us. I started doing this because I wanted, like, when the girls leave home, they get to take each ornament from each of those years and take with them to put on their own tree, kind of like you have. So that way they have their own set to start with, and that's kind of nostalgic for them. So, so Scout may have like a unicorn. She has a Bigfoot because she's Bigfoot obsessed.
Oh,
And
that's
then
great.
Paisley has like a paint palette, my artist, and like a bookshop ornament. And so those are all very eclectic and not Western, but they're my kids. And so
Hmm.
those are all going to be on our tree too. But when they get to leave home, they get to take those with them and start their own. So we started that tradition several years ago. So they have quite the collection going on now. Sometimes we get more than one. But for the most part, we have some of Zach and I's ornaments, and then everything else is Western. But it all works. It's cute and it's fun. I love our tree so much. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's special. Like you should have a unique tree that's specific to your family.
Yeah. We're almost to the point where we like need another tree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we've done our big tree like in the living room. That's where we have like, most of the breakable ornaments and the just like everything basically. And then I have two little tiny trees that I was doing in the kids' room. And like one was for Cheyenne and one was for Briggs. But they have like outgrown those trees. Like they have so many ornaments that they just fall over because
Yeah.
they're just really tiny trees. So I'm trying to figure out this year if I get them like a mini tree and they can put it in like a different corner of our living room with their ornaments on it. I don't know. It's not like our house is really big enough for that, but I don't know. The little trees just haven't been quite cutting it.
So I was about to say, like, we need a bigger tree, but we don't have, our house is small and we only have room
Hmm.
for the one that we have. And I think it's like a 7 footer and it's a slim. So, but one day we'll have a really big tree that we can fit everything on. But for now, that's what we have. But I like it. I buy, or the last tree I bought one on sale and it's flocked. So it already feels like it has like lots of extra stuff on it and it's very outdoorsy, woodsy looking to me because it looks like it has the snow and all of that. So I don't know. I love our tree. Um, what do you light your tree or do you get a pre-lit tree?
Well, here's the story of Cody and I's Christmas trees. Uh, we actually had a real Christmas tree up until I think Cheyenne was like 2.
Hmm.
So we went and bought one every year because I like real trees.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when we had Cheyenne, I think we didn't have a tree because we were just buying the real ones and we preferred the real ones. But then Cody's grandparents were getting rid of their old tree, so that's the one we have now. It is an old tree.
So have the individual
I
branches.
Yes, so it's like metal. Well, let's see. So it's got like a metal pole in the middle, and then it has like these little holes that go around, and
Yep.
each branch is like wire, like a
Goes
piece
on.
of like wire, and then it like sticks in to each of the
Yep.
holes and goes around. So it's like pretty fast. Like, you know, when you take it off, you just go and like put them put them away. But it's not. I mean, as far as like looks go, it's an older tree, so it doesn't look very realistic. Like the newer trees, like holy moly, we went to um Home Depot, I think, last year or Lowe's or something, and it was during Christmas time, and I was looking at the trees and I was like, these are the most beautiful things I have ever seen. Like like the lights on them are just like so sparkly and pretty and like you know, they look so realistic,
Mm.
but they're also extremely expensive. So
Yes.
um I was like, well, that's very nice. I will walk away now. But I ours is not pre-lit because it is like that older tree, so Cody wraps the lights. And I think we usually just do, well, normally we've only done white lights, but last year we did a combination of both just for fun. We did some colored and some white, and it was cute.
Yeah.
So,
I would love to have a real tree one day. We don't have this space, and it would be really hard to find the size that I need for the space it has to go in because I can only put our tree in one spot. And so, but one day when I get a bigger place, then we can go cut one. I would love to do that. I think that would be really fun.
yeah, we never actually went and cut one. We talked about it a lot of years, like we've wanted to, but we just have gotten ours from, there's a little tree lot that's pretty close to our house, so we just have gotten them from them. But yeah, I I like having lots of trees. I wish my house was bigger because I would have a few trees
Yeah.
if I could.
Oh, I would totally like deck the halls. Like I would put garlands everywhere. My house just it's not we have an open concept in our living room and kitchen and it's just one big room and we just don't have like it's not set up to do that, you know. And it's basically a barn. We live in a barn house, shop house. And so we just don't have that. But yeah, I remember like growing up in my nana's house, she would like wrap her staircase and every like door casing had like garland around it. I mean, it was like North Pole City. And but I loved it. It was so special for us as kids growing up. And my mom, like I help her, but we really decorate her house and stuff and it just brings so much joy to my kids. And so I don't know. I love Christmas though. So I don't mind going all out for it.
It's fun though, like doing Christmas, but doing it in like the old fashioned style, you know?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I don't love the super like glitzy, glamorous, like I don't know. There was like a time there, I think it was like the early 2000 where things just started getting like
Too
very
crazy.
glittery and very just like shiny.
Yes. It's like a disco ball Christmas.
Yeah, and it just got like a little intense for a while. And don't get me wrong, like I definitely love sparkle and glitter, but I use it like more sparingly these days, you know.
Well, like for me, I like the traditional like almost like lodgy cabin Christmas. Basically with like your your greens with your big red bows, just or like your little berry picks. Like that's what I like. And then adding some warm light. I don't really even like the bright LED type lights. I like
No. Oh
the
no.
warm
No, no.
glow, like the yellow warm glow lights.
Like,
That's what I like to decorate with, but I like the very traditional Christmassy look.
yes. I'm the same way. Like, basically when I type in like inspiration like on Pinterest or YouTube or whatever, just to give myself some ideas for decorating, it's always like old fashioned Christmas or like
Yeah.
pioneer Christmas or log cabin or
John Denver Christmas.
oh my gosh, that's just
Here
you're killing me
here we go.
here.
Here we go.
You don't do you know how much I
Christmas for
love
cowboys.
do you know how much I love John Denver? I don't think we've
I
ever talked
do.
about this.
We have. I love
We
John Denver
have?
too, but you're like a fanatic.
I am obsessed with John
Okay,
Denver.
so your John Denver Christmas is to my Dolly and Kenny Christmas.
Right.
So
Yes.
we mesh the two and it works.
Yeah, see, like when I was growing up, my family wasn't really they didn't really listen to a lot of like traditional country music. That happened like more when I was a teenager. But like John Denver, like Christmas Like a Lullaby is like it reminds me of when I was Cheyenne's age. Like
Oh.
because my mom listened to John Denver all the time. But yeah, so like his Christmas albums, I turn them on and it's like instant. It's like, oh, it's a Christmas time. Like, you know how some people are like, as soon as they hear like, I don't know,
Mariah
Burl
Mariah
Ives or yeah,
Mariah starts
Mariah.
belting it.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm like,
No.
John Denver, it's Christmas. If you aren't familiar with Kenzie's Boutique, you better get familiar. Kenzie owns Farm Girl Rural Boutique and General Store, and it is the dang cutest boutique ever. I've been obsessed since I found her, and she continues to curate the most wonderful collections in her online boutique. Kenzie and I work together on a lot of the designs, from her branding to her recipe cards to her candles to art prints that she offers. So when you purchase from Farm Girl, you are getting some really cute stuff, and it's kind of like you're getting a piece of both of us. Kenzie has a wide variety of products, from home goods to her own apparel brand, Farm Girl Cattle Co., to books for your ranch bookshelf, and even cute toys and goodies for the cow kids. Farm Girl is actually my favorite place to shop for gifts because she carries such a wide variety of things that I know people will love. You can pretty much find something for everyone on your list, even the guys. So make sure to head over to farmgirlboutique.com to do your Christmas shopping. And while you're at it, go check out Kenzie's meal subscription at Hayfield Meals. It's only $7 a month, and each week Kenzie sends you curated, tested, tried and true ranch recipes that she has created specifically for people who live a rural lifestyle. Whether you're taking meals to your farmer out on the tractor or trying to decide what to feed your family for dinner, her meal subscription is amazing. I cannot say enough good things about it. Each week, your subscription will include your weekly meal plan that consists of 5 dinners, a tractor snack, and a dessert. You will get the recipes as well as a completed grocery list, all in PDF form that's ready to print out and throw in a binder. Hayfield Meals also makes a great gift. A meal subscription can be so helpful and so thoughtful. And like I said, it's only $7 a month, the price of a fancy coffee. To subscribe to Hayfield Meals, head over to farmgirlblogs.com/hayfield-meals. There you can click the link to sign up, and then you will be on the list. So I love just like the greenery everywhere, like pine
Mm-hmm.
boughs, juniper. Like the juniper has been actually a newer one to me. I've seen a few people that have been using it like recently, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a giant juniper tree in my front yard. why haven't I been using this in my Christmas decor? Like, because I can just go clip boughs. And I mean, I have 2 or 3 big spruce trees too, and I have used spruce boughs before. But the juniper, like that truly to me is like, that's a Western Christmas, you know? So I'm going to try and figure out how to incorporate that more this year. I'm really just like, I don't know. I've, I, I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast, but I think it's because of what I do, but sometimes I get to a point where I have to like not see like imagery.
Mhm.
I don't know if that makes sense. I get
Oh,
like
yeah.
tired of seeing like logos and labels and like not like paintings and stuff. That's different. It doesn't hit the same way, but like words, because like I
Mhm.
literally would look at words all day long. And so sometimes I'm just like, just give me like the most simple, basic, like just some beautiful plants, you know what I mean, to decorate with, and
Mhm.
some bows or some ribbon, things that are like natural, like pine cones. I really want to just like use
Yes.
all the pine cones this year because I have like a whole box full. And in years past, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to do with these. And then I just like leave them in the box. But I've seen a lot of really fun inspiration this year, like people putting them in bowls or crocks
Yep.
or, just like little baskets here and there. And I just think it's really, really fun to like figure out how you can use the natural elements, which also happen to be extremely cheap or free, and
Mhm.
incorporating those into your home. And then it also, like, I don't know, it makes it so much more cozy to me, though, too.
Yeah, cause you're bringing the outside in. Like, I have these really giant pine cones. They were the ones I used at my shop in our store windows because they were huge and they would show up better in our displays. But I use them now because, like, on our upper cabinets, I have space between the uppers and the ceiling, and so, like, I'll put some greenery up there and, like, stick some pine cones, like, sitting up, or I'll put some in a rope basket on the kitchen table or whatever. But no, like I relate because when I'm decorating a room, I would much rather have like, okay, here's your box of stuff, clear everything out, clean it, have bare bones, and then let my mind create the space I want to have instead of like looking at a magazine. Even though I draw inspiration from that, but like instead of looking at a magazine or Pinterest for like, how should I decorate this room, just like letting my mind do it with like the things that I have and just like basics, like natural elements, like you said. I don't
Yeah.
know. To me, I end up so much more happier with the space, and it's usually just like simple, but it's cozy to me.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I think that's something I need to do more of is, just like actually taking stuff, like clearing a shelf off and like starting from scratch, because
Hmm.
sometimes I am like, well, this is like, I don't know. Like when I was growing up, my mom was not like a huge decorator. Like we had things that decorated our house and they stayed there all year long. And if we ever did like
Hmm.
holidays, we just like put stuff in around them. But
Hmm.
like even then, we didn't my mom didn't really ever go out like all out for holidays or things like that. So I have to like force myself to like have more of an open mind about like holiday decor, I guess.
Hmm.
Just like clearing the space, letting it kind of breathe, and then taking what you have and utilizing it. Like I kind of did that with my Thanksgiving and fall decor this year. We grew a bunch of white pumpkins, and then we have aspen trees in our backyard, so we have like the yellow aspen leaves, and then we also grew corn, so I had some little corn, not stalks, because I did use the stalks like out front in front of our house, but just like the little corn cobs that still had like the husks on them. And so I just like had a bunch of them. I'm like, well, I have this cute little copper basket in my kitchen. I'm just gonna put these in a cute little basket by the sink, and like there you go. And I didn't have to like go buy fake ones. I didn't have to spend any money. I just like put it in a little basket and it worked. So I think the other thing is just kind of getting creative with what you have. Like, you can repurpose things a lot, and I think some people don't think about it. It's like, you don't have to use an ornament to just hang it on the tree. Like, you can take an ornament and put it in, I've seen lots where they put them in baskets or crocks, or even if it's like a figurine, like, don't hang it on the tree, but like put it on a shelf or something, just to make it different, I guess. I'm challenging myself to do it this way this year, because I really don't even want to use a lot of the stuff that I've used in past years, because I'm just tired of it, I guess. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to like figure out more ways to like make the space more interesting without really having to spend any money, and just change it, I guess. And as I get older, my style seems to be like more simplistic. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's simpler is more beautiful, I guess.
Well, and you'll be amazed at like the things that you already have that you can use. And you might have been tired of it sitting on that shelf for so long, but then you like take it off, put something else there, use it in a different spot, and then add, something Christmassy to it. And it's like, looks like you got whole new decor and you
Right.
didn't spend a dime.
Right.
Like, for instance, I need to share, whenever we do like a decorating episode, I kind of need to share my process of how I do rooms and like spaces and shelves and stuff, because it's kind of like I talked about. Like, I literally have to start with nothing because I can't. I would do this in the store. I would completely tear the entire store apart. It would be madness. I'd have to like close down so I could redo the store
Mm-hmm.
for like a new season. But that's just how my brain works, because I literally have to like clear my space so I could clear my head, and then I would envision it, and then I would just put it out there and put it together using what you already have. So, like, for instance, the the longhorn that you got me for my birthday that one year, or Christmas, one of the two.
Yeah.
So I found like these like miniature wreaths. I think they were for like doll houses, and like I put one around its neck because I
So
had
cute.
it's back in my office, but when it was packed up while we were moving, I had it in my house because I didn't want one of his horns to break. So I put it on like one of our old cabinets I keep my cookbooks in. And so I like put a little wreath around him. And then I have a little section of firefighter stuff for like Zach's things that I want set out. And we have like this old, it might be Tonka, but it's a metal fire truck. And so like I just put like a little mini tree in the back so it looks like it's hauling a Christmas tree. Like, just little tiny things that you can add to what you already have out will completely change the look of your house, but it's still like personal to you. And you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
spend a ton of money, but like to me, I'm like, that is so much cuter than just like going and buying something at Hobby Lobby or somewhere and putting it out. I would much
Right.
rather it be like tying it all in with Christmas flair to it. I think that's just so much more personal and it means
Yeah.
more.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I have quite an assortment of like Christmas things, and some of them are just, your standard Hobby Lobby items, and then some of them are things that we've gotten from grandparents or whatever that are like more meaningful, and they're like more old fashioned. And so I'm kind of like leaning towards some of those things and liking them a lot more, and kind of wanting to phase out of some of the more like store bought commercial type things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think like, kind of along with like getting things that are vintage or things from nature, but also doing a lot of like handmade things
Mm-hmm.
to decorate with. I think that gives it a really like old fashioned feel.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I've been seeing the citrus garlands lately, where it's either like they just hang like literally just a dried citrus garland, or they'll combine it with greenery or whatever. And I just think it is so pretty, and it is like instant old fashioned.
Yeah, to me, it's like it reminds me of like old Christmas movies or old Christmas books that we used to read as kids. And
Yeah.
like you would see the illustration of like a fireplace with like the citrus garland draped, above it or whatever, That's what I think of when I see that. But yeah, just and it's also a way to incorporate like Christmas crafts with your kids and
Yeah.
do something fun that way. We've never done the popcorn garland before. I don't know if we have patience for that, but I do want to try that one time.
I did it once, I think, but it was like a long time ago. It was like when I was still living with my parents. I do want to do that this year. I've heard so like the popcorn garland and then the cranberry garlands.
Hmm.
Like
I love cranberry.
they're so pretty, and I
Yeah.
I want to try them.
Yeah, so it's been a few years ago when I still had my shop on Main Street. And like, we had those big, big windows, and I would try to change it up a little bit. It was really hard, but I would try to do like these really big, pretty displays that you would see at like Anthropology or whatever. And I got this bright idea of trying to create a snow effect and do marshmallows and put fishing line through them and hang them from the ceiling in these windows. That was really difficult because the marshmallows were too heavy, so we did cotton balls. And that
Oh
was like
yeah.
really cool. I was really proud of those that year. But yeah, I've gotten pretty crafty. Like there's so many cool things that you can do that's cheap to make your
Yeah.
house really really pretty.
I'm just kind of like stuck on the recycling thing. There's a lot of things that you can do. Like the other one that I've seen is so a lot of people take old ropes and
Mhm.
um you've probably seen this. It's probably not new to you, but like get some florals and then like tie it with a wild rag and just like hang it. I
That's
don't
what's
know.
on my door.
Well, there you go.
It's on my barn door. Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been seeing those a lot lately, probably just because I've been like liking them. And that one is so easy because how many people have an old rope lying around or 10
Right.
or more, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so that one's a pretty easy one. And you can do any type of florals. It can be like grass or sagebrush or evergreens, whatever. I think that's what's fun about it.
Yeah, and we talked about this before we started this episode, but I was telling Talia that my mom and I made garland one time out of rope. It was a um, it wasn't like a rope. It was more of a, I don't know how to describe it. Not twine because it wasn't as thin, but it was thicker. Anyways, we had rope, and then we would just rip bandanas, like red bandanas, and then we would tie like little bows all the way down the rope. And then that's what we would use for garland on our tree when I was growing up. And it was adorable. And it added like color, but it had our cowboy flair to our tree. And it was cheap, but it was really, really cute. And so that's another idea. If you have a style that's similar to ours and you need a different garland and don't want to spend a lot, that's something that you can do, and your kids will have a blast ripping bandanas and tying them on there. So
Yeah, a lot of these are kid friendly.
yes. Well,
Kid friendly
and it's
activities.
not well, and my thing is like I don't want it to look picture perfect, or I don't know. I like that rustic look because it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think the more your kids can help, the better. So
Right. Well, I love the like the rustic look, right? Like I want it to look like it was pieced together with what we had, I personally so I still see it. It just depends on like what you're looking at, but I used to see it a lot more when I was following certain influencers. But there are some people that they just do like this like elaborate like grand like ballroom kind of style like Christmas tree, and it's um I don't know. It's just not very personal, and it's just kind of like commercial, and there's nothing that's like homey about
special.
it,
Yeah.
or I don't know. I like we've talked about, I like things that tell a story, and I just like that old fashioned look.
Mhm.
The other thing I've seen too is, so I know a lot of people have done this, but like you get like an old pair of ice skates and you can like hang that on your door, um, or put it in a wreath or something. But
Mhm.
another one is like I've seen people use like old mittens or old scarves and just like
Mhm.
hang them around your house because they're
Mhm.
like a cute little vintage touch, but they are actually something that could have been used or can be used, you know? So
Right.
that one's fun.
Yeah, like for my mom's tree, we put a cowboy hat as her tree topper, which I'll probably do eventually. We still have a star, but it's one that we've had since Paisley was a baby, so I just can't not use it. Still, I can't get
Yeah.
rid of it. But I love the cowboy hat. My mom's used that forever, and it's really cute. It's just my dad's, one that he doesn't wear, but um, I don't know. It's just personal to our tree, and it looks cute. So.
I saw one that was really cute the other day with like, the old vintage mason jars that have like the flip top lid and like the, little clamp or whatever, filling those with like peppermint sticks or like gingerbread, or sorry, not gingerbread, cinnamon sticks and just things like that to like, you can like put that on a shelf or whatever. And it's like an actual useful item.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too, one thing I would do on the pine cones is get just like my essential oil. Usually I have like a harvest spice or whatever smell that smells like Christmas. And just put that, like drip that on the pine cones if they kind of lost their smell or if they even had one. And it would just kind of like, I don't know, it's essential oil, so it's not going to be bad for you, like an artificial fragrance, but it would just kind of bring those to life.
Oh, we actually got last year, we were getting a few items from some family members, and we got an old sled, like an old fashioned sled. Like, I don't know how old it was, but it's so cute. Like, I've wanted one forever, and we ended up just like getting one handed down to us. So I'm gonna do some cute stuff. Last year we got it and I just kind of like threw it on the porch as is because I just like didn't have time to worry about it last year. And it had like some really old like bows and greenery on it. But this year I'm probably gonna like take all the old stuff off and start from scratch and make it look really cute.
That would be really cute.
As far as like ornaments, so some of our favorite is like I always like to buy the Briar horse ornaments.
We do too. Yeah.
They have really cute ones, and they have one that I think my mom actually got it for me last year, but it's like a little raining horse,
hmm
like Santa Claus on a raining horse. So cute. And so our tree just has like little briar horses all over it. And then I bought these little cowhide little calf heads. They're just made of like cut out of cowhide, and I love them. They're so cute. And I've seen some different ones like horses and cow tag shape and stuff like that, but I love the look of cowhide incorporated into the Christmas decor too. It looks so cute. You had like the cowhide stockings too, right?
Yes. Lauren with Native West, she made me a set.
I love those ones. They're so cute. I thought about doing the cowhide ones and I kept going back and forth. I couldn't decide if I want to do cowhide or if I want to do Pendleton, so I ended up doing both.
Yes.
So I did. I found a set. It was crazy how it worked out because I wanted a set of 4 that all matched. Because I got them the year that Bruce was born, and I wanted to have all matching ones. But I couldn't find like a set of 4, and I was like, I didn't have a ton of money to spend. So I was trying to find ones that were like already made and ready to ship and stuff. So I ended up finding one set that is Pendleton, like on the sock, and then like the cuff is like cowhide or something.
How cute.
I'm pretty sure. I haven't pulled them out yet, so I'm like trying to remember. And then the other two, so I got two like that matched, and I got two that were like the opposite. So they're like cowhide, like tan and white cowhide on the sock, and then the cuff is like Pendleton.
Cute.
Like the turquoise, it's like turquoise Pendleton.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so they're like reverse of each other. They're so cute. I love them hanging. I love them.
I love
For some
stockings.
reason, Pendleton just always works.
It's always it's a neutral.
Yeah, for real.
It's like cowhide. It's a neutral.
Exactly.
No, and like I invested. We've had our stockings. I think this is our second or third year now. Um, and I just love Lauren's work. She made my backpack too. But I finally went ahead and invested in our set of stockings because I figured like we're done having babies, unless the Lord wills us another one. But like I was like, no, I'm pretty sure we're done. So I'm gonna go ahead and invest in like the stockings like I've always wanted. And she inlaid like our initials on each one, and I love them. And I went ahead and got uh like a decent, like a bigger size stocking because stockings are kind of our favorite thing. Like we do gifts, but we don't like go all out on gifts. We've talked about this, but I do really good stockings. That's something that um my mom has always done. Like my favorite part of our gift experience was the stockings because she always got like such cool things, and they were just so much fun to dive into. So I had her make us like good sized ones that we could put some really cool things in. So, but yeah, I love stockings. We don't have a fireplace. I like that's another thing. When I have my dream house one day, my little cabin, we're gonna have a fireplace and I can have them above the mantle. But right now, I have to be creative. And again, because we just don't have uh the space for decorating a whole lot. So I got the command hooks and I just put them on our sliding barn door, and it looks really cute on there. So gotta get creative.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's adorable right there. I'm I gotta get Cody to get my mantle up. So he got a mantle. I think his dad, because his dad's a contractor, so he gets stuff that people don't want anymore, and they're just gonna take it to the dump,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still like perfectly good. So we have a mantle that's like been sitting in our basement, and I'm like, I'm gonna have you mount it this year, like to go above our fireplace, because it's kind of funny. Like our house was built in the 30s, and so there's some interesting little things about it. But our fireplace is like floor level, and then it's like brick all the way up. But the brick has been, they ended up, I don't know when they did it, but they ended up putting like, I think it's drywall. I don't know. It might be something else, but they ended up covering the brick. So it's like, it looks like a bare wall, but if you go to like hang anything or put anything on it, it's like solid brick. So it's just, I don't know. I gotta solve some problems with that. Get the mantle put up so it like actually looks like a fireplace. Oh, another thing that I've seen a lot uh recently is, and this is like, we're talking very basic very basic and cheap ways to decorate here, but like taking some old ribbon and just tying little bows on different things in your house. So like I've seen people do it on Christmas trees, just as to, like, you can do it in addition to the ornaments you have, but like, and it doesn't even have to be like red bows. It can be like, I've seen some that are blue bows or green or, you know, like tan. Just, it kind of gives it a different, like warmth, I think. And then I've seen people like tying them, and I'm not talking like the big, huge, like fancy bows on the wreaths that was like so in for so many years. I'm talking like a simple, like ribbon, and it's made from cloth as if you were, putting a ribbon in your child's hair in the 1940s or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I think of. So, just like, and it's so simple, but it just is so pretty to me. So, and I've just never really seen that before. I've always seen like the big gaudy sparkly, like, you know, 15 layers of bows on top of each other.
One thing that I want to try, because I'm kind of like you, I don't like the whole glitz and glam, but I do like a little bit of retro, and I would like to like get a little bit of the tinsel to like just drape in the tree, just like discreetly, not a whole bunch, but just to give a little bit of excitement to our tree. Or maybe not just our, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe if I had two trees or something, I would do more of like a retro vintage tree. But I like the old school tinsel look too.
Yeah, I think sometimes the tinsel, because it is, I guess it's considered retro now, but like, it can look really good.
Well, like, you know what I mean when I'm talking about tinsel. Like, in my mind, I'm envisioning those old, like, 1960s, 1970s pictures that you see in the trees. I don't want it that tinsely, but like that's
Yeah.
that's that's what I'm envisioning when I think of tinsel.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very,
we
very psychedelic back then. You could tell disco was on the rise.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there was like all kinds of like different colored trees back in the day.
And they had the metal ones, like the old metal trees back then.
Yeah. I don't know. There is part of me that like if I had more space and like you say, you do like a different tree or something. Cause I think doing like a 1950s, 1940s, like retro style, like and do it all out in that style would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But probably like it'd have to be like one room, not like the whole house.
Yeah. I don't know. We're very rustic and western though, and it's always been that way for me. That's what I've always like gravitated towards. So that's probably what I'll always stick to. Kind of more the traditional log cabin, uh, cozy cabin in the woods type Christmassy feel. That's just what I like. It just makes me feel good, especially in the winter when you kind of have those like winter blues. Kind of
Yeah.
makes you feel better.
Yeah, and that is like I was actually telling Cody this the other day, and I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast or not. I think I talked about it a little bit on the last episode, but striving for cozy during the winter. Like that's because I love sunshine and I love heat, and so winter is really hard for me. And so and especially when it gets gloomy and there really isn't like sunshiny days, it's just like kind of gloomy and drab all the time. I have a harder time with that. But I have found that if I do like put in an effort to like light a candle and get under like a warm blanket and just like turn on some like music, it's like creating the atmosphere of cozy.
Mm.
And I really think that that is something I'm going to um really focus on this year, is just like trying to keep it that like it's almost like it warms your soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you are physically cozy, but it also like makes your soul feel better, you know? Um, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this overall in general, but kind of like And it's kind of to the point where it's kind of starting to get a little bit overused. So I don't love like using this term, but romanticizing your life. So
Mm.
it's like taking those moments that could be like, they could have potential to be like a soul sucking, you know, like part of your life if you just
Mm.
like go through the motions and don't really like put effort into it. But if you put effort into like really appreciating everything about it, or like the joyful elements of something, it's like winter. It's like I could sit there and complain and be negative about it and how much I hate it and how sad it makes me, or I could just try to reframe it and be thankful for being able to get under a blanket because it's cold out, and loving the snow because, it makes it nice to be inside, and then it means we have water for the coming year. I guess it's just like a change of mindset and being
Yeah,
grateful.
just a perspective change.
So, one way that I have heard of people doing that and making their houses feel more cozy is to use like more lamp light during the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I don't know, like I kind of feel silly, like, oh, this is so revolutionary to me, but like I've just never thought of it because when I was growing up, we grew up in like a 90s build, and it was like canned lights. Like, there you have it. There was no like lamps, and we had like maybe a couple, but they were just like utilitarian. It was just like, it just wasn't really like used to add comfort to a room. But I'm realizing now
Mm.
that like a lamp is such an easy way to make it feel more cozy and to add comfort. And so that's one thing. I'm not going to spend a lot of money, so I'm probably just going to have to find some things at the thrift shop, but trying to find some good finds there to make it more cozy in my house. Well, Christmas season is finally upon us, and we are so happy to have you guys listening and joining us each week. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can head over to Patreon. There you will be able to find video episodes of all of our podcasts, as well as some discounts on our Ranch Goods store. We will be adding a whole bunch of products too in the near future. But if you're not able to support us through Patreon, there are actually a lot of ways that you can. Kenzie and I are both small business owners, and we'd love for you to check out what we create. If you don't know, I am actually a Western artist and illustrator, and I create things all the time for ranch people, farm people, and people who are involved in a rural, agricultural, or Western lifestyle. I have an Etsy shop where I sell a lot of my artwork. I have art prints, originals, printables, and right now I have several different Western themed Christmas cards that you can actually edit yourself. Once you purchase the Christmas card, you can change out the pictures, change out the text to fit whatever you need, and then print it off right on your home printer, or you can have it taken to a print shop. I also have some rodeo themed gift tags that you can print off. You can even customize your own name on them, and you can change the fonts and what they say, and those you can also print out right at home and put them on your gifts. They would look so cute on your neighbor gifts or gifts for family. I just love them. I also have some of my original art pieces in various sizes of prints. My Etsy shop is etsy.com/shop/Wapiti Sage Design. Another thing that I haven't really talked about on the podcast is I actually own a kids' Western boutique. It's called Little Coyotes Outfitters, and there I have a bunch of goodies for babies all the way up to your older kids, and I also have a few things that are fun for mamas. If you'd like to head over to my kids' shop, you can find it at shoplittlecoyotes.com. I'm also going to take a minute to shout out my husband's new business. My husband loves to do woodwork, so he has decided to start his own Etsy shop. It's called Singing Saddle Merch, and he creates these beautiful cedar wood river charcuterie boards. Each piece is completely unique. So you can use them as a charcuterie board or a serving board, but you can also use them as decor in your house. They look great as a centerpiece. You can put decor on top of them. They're just so versatile, and they're truly an investment piece that you'll have and they will last forever. We are also trying hard to get a few more pieces added to his Etsy shop in the next few weeks. He also makes custom wood kids' kitchens, custom toy boxes, bookshelves, and he even has a few ready to ship items. So if you'd like to see his work, you can head on over to etsy.com/shop/singingsaddlemerc.
And I think too, this is also just nothing super special, and maybe this is just for me, but when you are starting to put presents around the tree, um, I know wrapping can get expensive, and a lot of people have gone to just like bags, but there's something special about wrapping a present, and there are certain ways that you can do it and still add like that extra cozy, thoughtful touch to it. So, a couple ideas, and this is something that my mom did for us when I was growing up. Um, and it's something I remember as a little girl and I do now. And it was so silly, but it was so special to me because I thought it was like so clever. But when she would go to the feed store and pick up our horse feed and creep pellets and stuff for the cows, she would get just the brown empty feed sacks that they hadn't put feed in yet, and like some of our gifts that were like kind of wonky or bulky or kind of hard to wrap, she would put in a brown feed sack and then like cinch it up kind of like you would a Santa sack at the top and do like a really pretty bow and a cool tag, and we would have a lot of our gifts in feed sacks. And by the time you listen to this, I'll have posted it so you can see, and I'll also post the link in our show notes. But I don't know, it was just so cool because it was like a part of our lifestyle, and it was so simple, but it was so unique, and it's such a cool way to wrap our gifts. And then another way is I actually use it to pack a lot of our packages here at the store, but I'll just get one of those really big rolls of craft paper, and it's cheap, and I'll wrap our gifts in brown craft paper, and then I'll get like some pretty baker's twine or just regular burlap or whatever and make pretty bows, and you can just go clip some evergreen and put, like natural elements in your wrapping, and put a cute little tag from Talia that she has in her Etsy shop, and just like really make a package like pop, but it costs you hardly anything.
Mm.
We also have some really pretty wrapping paper that we sell, but if that's not on your budget, you can still make a really pretty gift. And to me, it makes the gift even more special when you see it packaged beautifully. Like I take so much pride just when I'm packaging things that I sell for my shop. Like I try to put care into it, like pretty tape. I have a really nice brown box. It's packed well. I put an order card in there. I put like a sticker and a thank you note. Like, to me, it just makes your purchase that much more special. And I think the same goes for a gift. And so you may not have gotten anything spectacular or spent a ton of money, but you put time and thought into it, and that reflects to the receiver with your packaging. So
I think that's such a good point. I mean, I have been lazy in years past, and I have just done like the, go to Walmart and buy a pack of gift bags and call it good. I definitely have. But there was one year that I actually, so yes, these things were still from Walmart, but they were kind of like burlap look kind of sacks, and they were gift bags that you could just buy, and they had some kind of like Christmassy artwork on them. And I did those instead, and so like you could reuse them, And
Mhm.
they, like, that year, the gifts were like so much cuter. Like,
Yeah.
putting them together for people and then like having them under the tree was just so much better than just like the standard gift bag look. Not saying that like you can't get some cute gift bags, because I actually did
Right.
some artwork for really dang cute gift bag for Party West, but it's just like you can still make it even cuter, right? You can still like take it up a notch. So like one thing, so my sister-in-law is actually, she is really really good at wrapping, and she would always find little things to like elevate the wrapping job. So it was like
Mhm.
she would always pick this like gorgeous paper, and she didn't use gift bags. She pretty much wrapped everything, but she would get some florals or something, to like intertwine into the ribbon, which I always love. And I just think, especially with the craft paper, like the craft paper, the plain craft paper is actually like one of my favorite things to do for Christmas.
Me too.
Because then you can really play it up, and you can even do like, I think I've done, yeah, I have. So I've done like craft paper, and then I've done like leather lacing, like around it, or twine or anything like that. I've done like, like when you rip the fabric for like a rag cloth banner or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, I've done that where I've like done ripped ribbon just to like tie around. But I don't know. Even if you're using a gift bag, you can still, take a little bit of, cloth and tie a little bow, or just to like elevate it that much more, because even that is showing that you put in like just that tiny bit more little bit of effort.
Yeah, and like our last episode, we kind of talked about things being tight and on a budget. It's the last thing you want to spend money on is wrapping, when you don't have it. Now, if I had it, then I'm probably going to go all out on my
Right.
paper and,
Right.
things like that. But these are just some simple ideas to give you. Like, so I meant to say too, like, I love the craft because, especially for you, Talia, in all your free time, but you could like, like do some calligraphy or like paint on it. One thing I forgot to mention on the feed sacks, and I should have one in the post that we post, but I just take, it's kind of hard to try to not like burn through, but like take our electric branding iron and brand our bags because I brand our shipping boxes
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when I have time. But it just adds a little bit of extra, for us, like ranchy type theme to
Yeah.
our gifting. So there's so many things that you can be creative and just elevate your gifts. And to me, it's like if you're doing a homemade gift, it kind of makes it feel a little bit more, have that little extra to it, I guess.
Yeah.
A little
Well,
more thought.
right. And it's more than just like, oh, I grabbed this off my pantry shelf and shoved it in a bag for you. You know? Oh, and speaking of that, so one thing I've done with like canned goods, because there've been a lot of years where that's what people get, and I don't feel bad about it. Um, because I've had a lot of people tell me that they actually appreciated that more than any other type of gift that they could get. But
Yeah.
um with a, like, if you're giving like some jam or something, take some like old fabric and just rip it into a square, and then put that on top, and then tie a ribbon around it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just, if you want to be really easy, just take the ring of the canning lid and
And put
just
it
put it
over.
over the fabric and tighten it. And then it just like spruces it up, and it looks more like
Yeah.
homemade and like old fashioned looking. And I think it just adds that little bit of a touch that looks better than just a plain jar in a bag. But I was gonna say, on the craft paper, I have seen people who will stamp it. So
Mm-hmm.
you can get like a cute. I have this one stamp that I just love, but it's just pine trees, and you can just stamp it with black ink, and that looks really cute. I have seen people who also like are artists like me, and they will. In fact, I think Kaylee, she may have done this at one point, but maybe with like tissue paper, but like you actually carve your own little stamp and then stamp your paper with it, but that's fun.
That was her. I think I saw that last
It
year.
was, she
That
did
was
it
really
last
neat.
year or like a couple years ago or something. But
Yeah. Yeah, my main thing is just like not having it be stressful, like just enjoying your whole decorating experience and making memories. Like that's what it's about. It's not about having this like picturesque house with, you know, a theme and a color palette and all of that. Like your kids are going to remember the memories and the time that you spent doing it together and picking these things out and buying these ornaments together and making them and all of that. So, I think your decorating will reflect that if you're enjoying it.
yeah. So I just had another idea because my brain gets going and I'm like, oh, we could do that. Oh, we could do that. So, like, the old school, like, Christmas countdown with the construction paper, and it's like
Oh
red
yeah,
and green construction paper, right? Like every child from the 90s did at school.
the little
Yeah.
rings, the paper chain, the
Yes, the
paper
paper
chain, the
chain,
countdown
the
chain.
countdown chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it's a little gaudy for me to just do it in like red and green, but you could take scrapbook paper. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not saying you have to go and buy this stuff. I have like an entire bin of scrapbook paper. So, like, I got it laying around. Um, but you could take scrapbook paper and like things that have more interesting patterns, like gingham patterns or floral prints or whatever, and make your chain with that. And then it looks just like a
Oh, that's
little bit
cute.
more like handmade, kind of almost like a fabric-y type look.
That's
I don't know.
cute.
Just a thought I had. I'll probably do that with my
Yeah,
kids.
I used to make a ton of those fabric garlands.
Um,
That's kind of
I still make them.
I still use mine. I use them for like all kinds of things, like showers, parties, but yeah, I had a lofty goal one time where I was going to try to sell fabric garlands on Etsy.
Yeah.
That was my first Etsy fail. I'm still I'm still working on Etsy printables, but that's I have not had any sales on that either, so
Hey, there's
maybe I should
definitely
just
a
not try
learning
Etsy.
curve to that, Etsy.
Yeah. But yeah, fabric garlands at Christmas are easy to do also.
Yes. So I've gotten to the point where I do like rag cloth garlands for like every season. So
Mhm.
I have like a springtime one and I have a summertime one. I just made a fall one. It's not really very fall-ish because I didn't have any or any orange or brown fabric. So I used I had an old bed sheet and I had a few fat quarters that I had bought because I was like really ambitious when Cheyenne was a little baby and I was like, I'm gonna sew her some bows out of this beautiful fabric, and I never did. So I have a lot of that fabric still. So I just like one day I was like, well, I think we need another fall rag cloth banner, and so I just made that, and I need to do one for Christmas because I actually don't think I have one for Christmas. So anyway, I don't know. Those are super old fashioned to me, and they always are so cute. I don't know.
Well, and they can go with anything, any kind of decor. So.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss or mention? I'm trying to think. There's always like a million things that you can do. Oh, I just thought of one. So if you have like a little red wagon, that's one thing that we've done on our porch. So we'll like take the little red wagon and put like some little Christmas trees in it or some pine boughs. And then like I like the like wood slices. So
Me too.
I had a lot of like aspen tree slices from like our wedding. So I've used those throughout the years, and I don't know. I always like the look of like candles, like tea lights in like the little tiny mason jars.
Yeah, I was about to say are like old lanterns, because
Yes, yes, we
apparently
have some old lanterns.
that was a thing when we got married. So we got married a week before Christmas because we're Christmas freaks. and we just, 'tis the season. Let's go all out. Let's get married a week before Christmas. That was nuts. But we got married pre-Pinterest. So um I guess the thing was lanterns. We used a lot of lanterns in our wedding. Like people got a lantern as a gift on their way out.
Oh my
Lots of
gosh.
family, lots of family, and we probably bought like 300 tea lights. But I was about to say like I still have a couple that I had kept, and I use them at like Christmas time and stuff, and we'll put tea lights in them, and it just gives
Yeah.
like that cozy feel. And I like the look of like the old railroad type lanterns. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're cool, and they're rustic, but you can also use them at holiday time and make it look festive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just
Exactly.
thinking of that.
Pretty much anything anything vintage you can figure out how to make it fit for Christmas. I actually saw on Pinterest the other day, I saw someone that had made a Christmas tree out of cow tags. So, okay, so let me explain. It was an advent calendar, but it was made with like cow tags.
You need
And
that.
they had it in like a Christmas tree. It was just red and green ones, and they had like put it on like a blank wall in their house, and like it was like the little advent calendar. And I was
Oh
like, the
man.
picture of it on Pinterest was like not very cute, but I'm like, that could be done very cute. So
Yes,
I pinned that, and I was like,
that's such
I
a cute
might
idea.
have to do that.
That's such a cute idea. Well, it's kind of like the cactus tree. So I've seen two different kinds that I really like and I want to attempt. One is out of the horseshoes that I need to have Zach weld me when he
Right.
has free time.
Mm-hmm.
And I want one of those for my porch. But then I saw one the other day, and this girl got a really big um pot, and then she did this like long tube thing, and then she wrapped it, and then she wrapped it in garland and lights. I'll have to find the reel because she made it look like really seamless, and I'm like, there's a catch. But it was adorable. It was so adorable. And then I'm just thinking like you could decorate that sucker in all kinds of different ways and be so cute. And that could be like, your extra tree to put ornaments on, but it doesn't take up a ton of space.
Right. Right. That's a good idea.
And it's rustic.
Yeah.
But I'll slap I'll slap a cowboy hat or a cactus on anything, and I can make it like Western and rustic, and 'tis the season. I'll put a bow on it. So
Speaking of unique trees, this is like I saw these down when I went to the NFR like years and years ago. But there was a booth and they had like 5 of these. And I was like, well, I guess I know what Cody's going to make me one day. It is a Christmas tree made out of elk sheds.
yes,
Have
I've
you seen
seen
those?
those. Those are so cool.
I mean, it takes a lot of antlers, but they look so awesome. I'm like, yes, one day it will be mine.
That's definitely your log cabin tree.
Yes. Like when I have my lodge home,
Yeah,
that will be
that's
up.
one of your trees
Right.
with your antler chandelier.
Exactly. Basically, that's what they are. They're just big
Yeah,
antler chandeliers, right?
yeah,
I've
yeah.
always
That's
wanted an
definitely a
antler
must.
chandelier. Like as I can't even remember a time in my life where I didn't want an antler chandelier.
Yeah, I think they're just so cool. Well, it's timeless. It's nothing. It's like my mom, she has a wagon wheel above her table, and like I've
Mhm.
always wanted one of those. I love that, but it's something that it's not going to go out of style.
Right. Yep. And they'll last forever too. All right. Well, unless there's anything else, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff that I just can't think of right now.
Well, we have a few more holiday episodes to go, so we can always pop in our thoughts.
Right? Oh, I
'Cause,
forgot to mention.
yeah. Well, these, we always laugh and we're like, this will be like a 30-minute, one of those 30-minute episodes, and it's like an hour and 15.
I don't think we've ever done a 30-minute episode.
This is the problem. It's because we don't get to talk enough, and so we just word vomit on our podcast.
Well, we've had a lot of compliments on how it feels like we're just like a girlfriend chat, right? So
Hey, I'm glad
I guess
because
it's okay.
it could go really bad, one way or the other. So I'm glad you're liking it.
One thing I did
Alt.
want to mention, I just thought of it, but furs, like hides. So we talked about the antler chandeliers and Christmas trees, but even just, we decorate with that stuff all year round, but if in case you're a person that doesn't prefer it all year round, it does add like that cozy, like Christmassy feel, to have like deer hides or antlers or, the one thing that is like a bucket list item for me is to get a big buffalo hide. Like, yes. In my lodge home one day, I'm going to have a railing and all these hides are going to be draped over the railing. Like, that's
Yeah,
in my head.
I want like a buffalo jacket, like
Yes.
just like
Well,
a
can you
robe
imagine? They would be so warm.
and
So
a bear rug.
yes. So, anyway, furs and hides, another Christmassy item.
One thing I forgot too is like, so my mom has a rotating Christmas tree stand that she got for like $45 at Hobby Lobby. And I like it because with her tree, it's like kind of against a window. So that way you can see all of her ornaments. I don't have the space I used to have one. I don't have the space to use it. So we use an old tree box to put our tree in instead of like having just like a tree skirt. And then I've seen like the small little water troughs or like the rings, the galvanized rings. Like I like the different unique ways for your base of your tree. Like I like seeing what people do. I think it's neat. Other than just like your traditional tree skirt. My mom, her old tree skirt was really cute. She had um it looked like hand sewn, but it like one there would be like bandana and then cowhide and then denim and then bandana, cowhide, and denim, and it was just a pattern, and then around the outer edge was fringe. And it's adorable. She still has it because I won't let her get rid of it. But yeah, it's I like seeing people's tree skirts and tree bases and seeing how they get creative with those.
Yeah, I've always loved like the galvanized tub look or um I like even just like a cowhide, you know.
Yeah.
We've done we have a lot of deer hides, so we've done deer hides in the past instead of skirt. And then we've also done like Mexican blankets,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
that's cute.
So it's just like to make it a little bit different, a little
Yeah.
bit more of our personality.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is a great episode, I think. That gives you tons of ideas in case you need some more. um, I find that I'll do like my Christmas decorating and then I just keep kind of adding or changing as the season goes on. And the other thing that I do like is if you can decorate with a lot of the more natural elements, you don't necessarily have to take them down, you know, the day after
Yeah.
things or Christmas. I I never am motivated to take my Christmas decorations down, so they end up staying up for like the whole month of January. So I'm like, hey, maybe we'll just call it winter decorations and then it
Yeah.
won't make me feel bad when I don't take them down. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, if you haven't already,
You can go to our shops and buy our wrapping paper and Christmas goodies. And I have some really cute mugs that say Christmas at the Ranch that Talia had designed. I guess I didn't even order like more Christmas t-shirts this year. We've got to do the little new Santa design next year. We got to do something new.
we will. We will. We'll do
I mean,
what we
do a
need to
Paintbrush
do.
Prairie exclusive
Yeah.
Santa.
We need to put it on our to-do list for like June.
On
Okay.
the long list. It looks like
But I'm
Santa's
serious.
list.
Like, if it's gonna happen, we gotta like get it done in the springtime.
Yeah, we got a long list of things. We'll try to have that done for y'all next year.
All right. Well, we hope you guys are enjoying this Christmas season and having a lot of fun with your family and just taking some time to slow down and just have fun, enjoy the season, and relax. So, we'll be back next week with another Christmas episode. So, thanks for being here.
See you then.
Thank you for listening to the Paintbrush Prairie podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you don't mind, would you please leave us a rating and review?
This will help more ladies find us, and it will help us make the show even better. If you know a fellow Western homemaker who would enjoy the podcast, will you please share it with them?
If you'd like to support the podcast, you can become a patron at patreon.com/paintbrushprairie. You can follow us on Instagram at paintbrushprairie.
You can find me, Kinsey, on Instagram at @farmgirl and my blog, farmgirlblogs.com, to see what I'm up to on the ranch, Western home inspiration, or subscribe to my meal plan subscription at farmgirlblogs.com/hayfield-meals. You can also shop for unique Western goods at my rural boutique and general store, farmgirlboutique.com.
You can follow me, Talia, on Instagram at The Pinion Range or my Western art page at Wapiti Sage Design. You can also purchase my artwork or book a custom piece at wapitisagedesign.com. I also blog over at thepinionrange.com, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel where I share the behind the scenes of my life as a Western artist and homesteader.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next time from the Paintbrush Prairie.